Right now at 6, a thief stole a car with 2 children inside and then dropped them off in a busy traffic area. The temperature 23 degrees. Tonight, the very latest clues on the way to trying to garner an arrest.
Atlanta made it the top 20 list for Amazon. We are a finalist for their next headquarters, but we're looking at the good, the bad, and is it worth it?
And a family in desperate need of medication for their son, but they couldn't get out because the roads were so icy and dangerous. Tonight, we have the story behind the viral post, a kind-hearted deputy to the rescue. But first tonight, a grandfather working hard to make the streets safe for his community is gone. It
is such a tragic story. Hours after the severe weather curfew was lifted in Coweta County, a 60-year-old Department of Transportation worker was crossing the tracks when he was struck and killed by a train. Latasha Givens has been tracking the investigation into how this happened. Do we know right now, Latasha, how this all occurred?
Well, Jeff, good evening to you. That's one thing investigators are still working to determine the cause of this crash. We can tell you the family visited the scene earlier today, and throughout the day, dozens of GDOT workers stopped by to take a look at the scene as they came and went from the truck barn, which is just on the other side of the track. And if you look behind me, you can see crews are still working to clear the wreckage. Officials say Department of Transportation driver 60-year-old Carrie Byron Ellaby was crossing over the tracks when a CSX train careened into his work truck. Fire Chief Pat Wilson says Ellaby was trapped inside the DOT truck while it was stuck under train cars.
My heart goes out to the DOT family. I know they've been really working hard over the last couple of days with this winter weather, and to have a tragic end like this this morning is definitely heartbreaking.
According to Coweta County Emergency Management, there have been 186 accidents with and without injuries since Storm Inga swept Georgia. This train accident was the first fatal. And a spokesperson sent over a statement. It reads in part, CSX sent us the statement. We extend our deepest sympathies to the family and our transportation colleagues at GDOT. None of the 4 crew members on the train were hurt. And we've been working to find out how long Ellaby was working before that crash and what factors led up to it. We'll bring you those details as soon as investigators give them back to us. Live in Coweta County, I'm Latasha Givens, 11Alive News.
A live look north towards Buckhead this evening. Still some possibility of slick roads as temperatures will dip below freezing again tonight. You can find the latest school closings running at the bottom of your screen. In Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is praising the city's preparation and response to the winter storm. While many roads within the city remained icy this morning, crews have treated more than 1,400 miles of roads to minimize refreezing overnight. Mayor Bottoms said today the response in Atlanta cannot be compared to northern cities that impact to the airport is expected with severe weather.
There was difficulty in people getting to and from work, but I think that the airport and our airlines prepare for situations like this, and it is a weather event. We can't control the weather.
The city says it has now transitioned from a response phase to recovery phase, and it's working to return to normal business.
This baby girl now is home safe tonight, along with her 4-year-old sister, after they were found in freezing temperatures last night in Clayton County. Carjackers stole their mother's car outside of a QT, then abandoned the children on the side of the road. Tonight, the carjackers are still on the run, and many of you have commented on this story, wondering how the little girls are doing. 11Alive's Naima Abdullahi brings us an update for you tonight.
A happy ending to a heinous crime that could have easily left a 1-month-old and her 4-year-old sister hurt from being in harm's way after the carjacking suspects stole their mother, Precious Wilmer's car from this gas station. One child was found near Riverdale Road near I-285, not too far from the Quick Trip. The 1-month-old girl was found on the side of South Fulton Parkway.
As soon as they got out there, they saw an arm moving from beneath the car seat. They knew immediately that was the missing child.
In the car, abandoned on Metropolitan Parkway. We captured the reunion on camera as we first brought you the story as breaking news. While police have not decided if the mother will be charged, they do want this to be a lesson to anyone else who thinks about leaving their children alone in a car.
We try to educate our victims that that type of thing is counterproductive to what we're trying to do.
Despite the terrible circumstances, the family and police say they're fortunate the children were found safe. And the community feels the same way.
Just awful. Who would do things like that? You know, that's terrible.
Police say electronic devices still in the vehicle belonging to the mother gave them clues on where the car was headed.
It alerted us, so we were narrowing the vicinity of the vehicle in real time.
And surveillance video from the QT has not been released yet, but once police track down the suspects involved, they'll be charged with 2 counts of kidnapping and motor vehicle theft. Naima Abdullahi, 11Alive News.
We started with more than 200. 20 cities are left standing. Many are pleased to see Atlanta on the short, not so short list of Amazon's potential second headquarters. And while Amazon is promising a $5 billion investment and hundreds of jobs, only one city really knows what that kind of an impact a company can really make. That is Seattle, of course, where Amazon is currently located. Today, our Joe Hankey talked to an Amazon expert out west.
We wanted to know, what is it like to have Amazon's headquarters in your city? To help us answer that question, we have Chris Daniels from our sister station King joining us. And Chris, you've covered Amazon extensively. Why don't we start with the good? What has Amazon headquarters done for Seattle?
100,000 people have moved to this area within the last 10 years, and a lot of that can be directly attributed to Amazon. I think that depends on who you talk to, whether this has been a good thing or bad thing over time. A lot of people know that it has brought tremendous wealth to the area. There has been tremendous growth. There are a lot of people who now want to live here. In terms of housing prices, that is a big issue here in Seattle. I want to throw some numbers at you. In December of 2012, the median home price in Seattle was $353,000. 5 years later, it has doubled, well over $700,000 according to Zillow.
Overall, in your expert opinion, covering them up close over the years, would you say it's worth it?
It really depends. It's kind of a mixed blessing with the growth in Seattle. It has meant so much negatively that I think a lot of people now look at Amazon in Seattle, people who have lived here for a while, and kind of raise their eyebrow. Yes, they use Amazon on a daily or weekly basis, but they also know that they've had issues with housing and transportation here. So kind of a mixed bag depending on who you talk to here in Seattle.
Chris, thanks for joining us. You heard it right there, good, bad. That's what comes with Seattle's headquarters for Amazon. We'll have to wait and see, though, who gets that second headquarters and whether it'll be here in Atlanta or not. Back to you.
So one way to look at this, it is a playoff of sorts for Atlanta in the game of courtship for Amazon. One civic booster saying that this game requires playing offense as well as defense. 11Alive's Doug Richards is here now to explain exactly what that means.
Well, Jeff, offense means offering an aggressive incentive package without giving away the proverbial store. Boosters say defense means keeping Georgia's business climate the way it is without complicating it with unnecessary controversy. Religious freedom is a concept that divided the Capitol over much of the last 3 years. Critics said bills guaranteeing religious freedom were anti-gay and therefore discriminatory. Backers said they protected religious rights. Now, critics say new religious freedom legislation could chase off Amazon.
So there's going to be one winner and a lot of losers.
Brian Robinson represents a business coalition called Georgia Prospers. Amazon chose 20 cities as its finalists. A handful of them are in states that have religious freedom laws. Some, like North Carolina, have lost business because of those laws.
And we have an open, welcome, and inclusive environment here. So we think it's an advantage for us that those states have those policies.
That's not part of their calculus. That's not going to decide this issue.
But supporters of religious freedom bills in Georgia say Amazon's list shows a willingness to play ball with religious freedom states.
Corporations make decisions based on regulatory and tax environments and dollars and cents. The more money Amazon can make in terms of incentives, the more likely they're going to be to come to one of the cities on that list of 20.
A religious freedom bill introduced last year got no traction and is unlikely to get past Governor Deal if it passes this year. Next year, with a new governor, maybe a different story. A lot of Amazon boosters and religious freedom boosters would like to see Amazon decide before next year.
Doug Richards, thank you. We appreciate it.
The past 13 days have been agonizing for the family of a woman who vanished without a trace. Coming up, could a stranger hold the key to her disappearance?
sick boy, his desperate mom unable to drive on the ice to get to the pharmacy for his medicine. She sent a plea on Facebook for help. The response, she says, made her cry for joy. Coming up.
Did you feel it today? We made it up above freezing at the lunchtime hour. Now we're going to enjoy some slightly warmer air for the next couple of days. We'll let you know when the colder air returns coming up.